Sometimes in life, things can appear as if everything's a-okay. Why? Well, because when it comes to social media, we have control over what we want people to see. Now, I want you to bear this in mind, people. Literally 21 hours ago, Veronica uploaded this video here of herself and her partner. Look at it. 2025 was the best year yet. Can't wait to see what 26 has in store for us. And as you can see right now, all we're seeing is a very happy couple who met on Bumble and having one hell of a great time. But then sadly, we are now here. Now, please do proceed with caution because what I'm about to show you may trigger you if you're somebody that has been through any type of domestic type relationship, which I hope you haven't. So as you saw, we shouldn't always believe what we see on the line, because online is where we can fake it as much as we like. Sadly, I then come across some information. This information is now shown that when it comes to Veronica and Seth, despite the fact that she had uploaded something very positive about their relationship and he also done the same thing too, well, meanwhile, sometime between those 21 hours, since the 20 hours she uploaded, well, Seth then ended up being arrested. And as you can see right here, this is Seth himself in particular, and it is reported here that he was arrested on the 15th of December 2025. And as you can see, the book time was 4:17 a.m. and the current custody status date and time is today, also 10:43. So he was in there for around about 6 hours, just above, right? And he was bonded out, as well as obviously now currently out on custody. This is what's going on with Seth right now. But then there's Veronica. Veronica herself was then in a position where she was booked on the 15th of December 2025 at 3:25 a.m. and then was, I believe, out of custody at 11:28 a.m. and has been bonded out as well. But why did this happen? Why are these two all of a sudden on the police record as of today? Well, as you can see here, it does tell us that Seth himself in particular was charged on assault on female. Given the fact that he was charged as an assault on female, this is where we have our assumption that the assault that he must have had would have been towards Veronica. Well, here's the thing. Then I was able to look up Veronica's name, and as you can see here, she was then charged with domestic violence misdemeanor. Social media is one hell of a place that we can definitely do whatever we want to show people a certain part of our life. But it doesn't mean that is our life. So as you can see, we are in a situation here where there are two people who are currently going through a very violent time. At first, I questioned if maybe these two had become physical with someone else, but of course, because of the only two people mentioned, it means they were only physical with each other. Now, no other details has been given regarding on who the aggressor was, who is the person that has actually caused the crime, but based on what it says, when it says on his part, violent towards woman, and then also on her part, the fact that it says misdemeanor, that can only really tell me, or should I say domestic violence misdemeanor, that can only tell me one thing, and that can tell me that it looks like as if Seth may have been the one that is the aggressor. But of course, there is no current proof of that at this moment in time. Now, I will say this. I don't know if this is a wild thing to say, but a lot of the times when we come across people who have been through a domestic violent situation, usually what happens is there's only one person that's the violent person, and the other person is the one that's received it. In this situation here, we've got two people that clearly were both going back and forth with one another. Now, this tells me that there's a potential chance that they obviously caused a massive disturbance, so much that somebody that may have been walking past, but to be fair, we don't know if this happened in the space of their home or if this happened out in public. We have no idea this moment in time, but I can imagine someone heard or saw what was going on and therefore rang the authorities, and the authorities are obviously there to stop the situation, and therefore both people were then arrested. Now, I can imagine, despite the fact that they're both out in custody and they've both been bonded out, I can only imagine they were both bonded out by someone that they know individually, and they are both now obviously in separate places up until the next time I guess they have to either meet in court or whatever the process is next. But it is quite sad though. It is quite sad because, to be honest with you, we have seen Veronica's journey on 90 Day Fiancé. We have seen her come on there for the very first time as Tim's best friend, aka ex-girlfriend, because obviously he is the stepfather to her daughter. He obviously stepped in at a very young age and done a great job. And then also on top of that, we saw her come back for 90 Day Fiancé, but this time by herself for single life. And we saw that relationship didn't exactly work out for herself. And then she came back again, but this time came back with Jamal. And then that relation didn't work out neither. Then she finally found love away from 90 Day World with Seth. So therefore, because of what she has portrayed online, a lot of us then assumed that her relationship with Seth was obviously going to be a good one, and things were definitely going in the right direction. Because hey, why would we not want to see someone happy, right? But unfortunately, everything that she was showing us online wasn't necessarily fake or a lie. Unfortunately, it just wasn't the full truth, because now we're in a situation where we are literally seeing two people in a very unnecessary, uncomfortable situation. I really hope, and this is a crazy thing to say, but I really hope this was the first and last time this has happened, because it'd be a damn shame if this situation between these two has been happening throughout their relationship, because there was a time before when she did appear at the last resort, and when she appeared at the last resort, the last time we saw her, she appeared with a very puffy looking face, and at the time people were concerned that maybe she'd either put on weight or something had happened to her. Well, she came out and told us all that she had gotten emotional before coming on stage, and that's why her face was all puffy. And I believe she said she got emotional because of something that had happened with her and her partner. Nothing violent, but she got emotional about something that wasn't necessarily bad. It was more like a happy thing. Now, it does make me really wonder, was she really getting emotional at the time for something that was not that bad or whatever? Or did she come on stage with her face swelling up because something had actually happened, and that's why she was looking the way she was looking? These things do really make us start to think, doesn't it now? But with that being said, I would like to know exactly what you folks are thinking down below in the comment section itself. But it is a damn shame, because when it comes to 90 Day Fiancé, this is not the first time we have seen someone be arrested. And sadly, it's probably not going to be the last time neither. You know what I mean? But either way, though, stay tuned for some more updates regarding whatever is going to happen next with these two. So please do make sure you leave a like and you subscribe on your way out. So therefore, obviously, you can stay notified. Good point. Turn your notifications on, so therefore you stay notified with anything else to come out moving forward. But with that being said, I will say this though. I will say this. A lot of the times when we come across stories like these or situations like these where there's domestic involved, usually it's one person who's the aggressor and the other person is the one that receives it. It's not very often we come across two people who are both aggressive to one another. So what I will say is that this is kind of a good thing, because it means that whoever was being attacked or assaulted, at least that person did what they could to defend themselves. Because a lot of the time, people do not defend themselves when somebody is coming towards them with a certain type of way. Now, of course, if you are a man and a woman is coming after you and she is the aggressor, then you have to do what you can to restrain her. I mean, you got options. You keep her run away. You know what I mean? Just don't be in the vicinity, do you know what I mean? But if you can't leave for whatever reasons and you have to stay where that person is, but then the best thing that you can do is restrain that person, obviously, and not obviously hit them back. And, you know, people can learn how to restrain people in so many different ways. There are so many different classes you can take. Hell, even use YouTube to teach how to do it, just what I'm saying. So restraining is something that I definitely recommend for men to learn if they are the one on the receiving end of an aggressive woman. Now, of course, if you are a woman on the other hand, it's exactly the same thing. I recommend that you learn self-defense classes, okay? But remember, when it comes to self-defense classes, learn them and then also learn how you can restrain someone, because really and truly, sometimes when it comes to self-defense, people believe it means hitting that person back, but in reality, it doesn't actually always mean that. Sometimes it just means knowing how to dodge someone and then be able to restrain them in some sort of form, whether that be you around them like this from the back, or you trying to basically wrestle them onto the ground so you can put them in a position where they can't move. Either way, it is very important that everybody learns how to self-defense, how to restrain someone, okay? Because to be honest with you, I reckon if people knew, maybe this could help many people in the world who are going through these horrible experiences. Yes. With that being said, thank you so much for your time. Peace.